Welcome to Cape Town News. Today is Sunday, the 30th of March, 2025. And in case you missed it, here's this week's recap of leading stories from the Western Cape. Transnet Port Terminals has unveiled a large-scale infrastructure and equipment upgrade program aimed at resolving persistent congestion and capacity issues at the Cape Town Container Terminal. The announcement came during a high-level engagement between Transnet Port Terminals and the South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry last Thursday. Oscar Borchards, managing executive for Western Cape Terminals, said the state-owned enterprise is working around the clock to address port inefficiencies that have long plagued exporters, particularly those in the agricultural sector. As part of the development plan, Transnet Port Terminals will take delivery of 28 rubber-tired gantry cranes starting at the end of March 2025, with the first 9 arriving by August. In addition, 7 ship-to-shore cranes will be delivered between April 2025 and May 2026 to improve container handling capacity. To address current mismatches between berthing and landside capacity, Transnet will expand the terminal's landside infrastructure to match its 1.4 million TEU berthing limit. This includes the introduction of a truck staging facility, enhanced reefer refrigerated container storage, and improved rail integration to support back-of-port logistics. Borchards stressed that public-private partnerships would be essential to ensure success, particularly empowering new cold storage capacity with backup generators. A celebrated aviation event turned tragic on Saturday, the 22nd of March, when a vintage aircraft crashed during the West Coast Saldanha Bay Air Show, killing seasoned pilot James O'Connell. The crash took place in front of more than 2,000 spectators, who were left stunned as the Impala MK-1 jet lost altitude and smashed into the ground in a fiery explosion. O'Connell, a retired South African Air Force officer with more than 3 decades of flight experience, was flying solo in a routine display when the accident occurred. Despite the immediate response from emergency crews, the pilot was declared dead at the scene. No injuries were reported among the crowd. The South African Civil Aviation Authority and the Air Force's Accident Unit are currently investigating the incident. Preliminary footage and eyewitness accounts are being examined to determine if mechanical failure or human error played a role in the fatal dive. The municipality has extended its condolences to the O'Connell family and assured the public that safety regulations for future air shows will be reassessed. Tributes have since poured in from aviation communities across the country, honoring O'Connell's legacy and service. Stadio Holdings is bringing a new higher education campus to Cape Town. The private education group confirmed this week that a 32 million rand facility is under construction in Durbanville, scheduled to open in 2025. It marks the 7th addition to their national campus network and aims to meet growing demand for accessible tertiary learning. The announcement came during Stadio's 2024 annual results, where the group reported an 8% year-on-year growth in student numbers, bringing enrollments to over 50,000. The company also reported a 17% increase in profit and a 28% jump in headline earnings per share, crediting the rebound in in-person learning. Stadio said the Durbanville site will be funded equally through long-term debt and cash reserves and will offer a modern learning environment with a mix of academic programs. The development is expected to support student expansion while improving regional access to post-school education. The campus will join other Stadio facilities in Bellville, Waterfall, Randburg, Hatfield, and Musgrave. Revenue for the year climbed to 1.6 billion rand, supported by the company's recent acquisition of a 15.4% stake in Millpark Education. As the province focuses on expanding educational opportunities, the Durbanville campus is a timely intervention in supporting youth skills development and long-term job creation. The mother city may be South Africa's crown jewel, but living there is getting harder to afford. A fresh spotlight has been cast on Cape Town's rental market after digital creator and MC Nande Ramnawana shared her shock at finding a bachelor flat priced at 16,500 rand. For many young professionals, staying at home with family is now a smarter move than trying to rent in the city centre. Sunday Tribune reports that back in 2021, one-bedroom units in Cape Town averaged nearly 9,900 rand, while Joburg's equivalent sat closer to 6,500 rand. Three-bedroom apartments saw an even wider gap, 20,327 rand in Cape Town compared to just 14,621 rand in Johannesburg. While Cape Town's world-class views, beaches and lifestyle continue to draw newcomers, the pressure on renters is growing. Gentrification, high demand from remote workers, and a tight housing supply have pushed prices higher, raising concerns around affordability and long-term sustainability. Calls are mounting for a review of housing policy to ensure more inclusive access to rental accommodation, especially for working professionals and young graduates. Western Cape Finance Minister Baartman is set to table the 2025/26 provincial budget in the Western Cape Provincial Parliament on Thursday, the 27th of March. The budget arrives amid significant fiscal constraints at the national level, with the Western Cape expecting lower allocations than in previous years. Minister Baartman is anticipated to outline the province's financial strategy in the face of rising costs and limited revenue growth. Key focus areas are expected to include infrastructure investment, health and education services, and strengthening social support measures. The Western Cape government has been vocal about the impact of national budget limitations on service delivery. In her recent pre-budget address, Baartman reaffirmed the province's commitment to good governance and fiscal discipline, while calling for urgent reforms to South Africa's broader public finance management system. The address will be streamed live and followed by detailed departmental budget briefings over the coming weeks. Residents and civil society groups are encouraged to participate in budget consultations as the province prepares for a challenging financial year ahead. Recent crime statistics for Cape Town present a complex picture, with both encouraging reductions and areas of concern. In the second quarter of the 2024/25 financial year, July to September 2024, the Western Cape experienced an 8.7% decrease in murder cases, dropping from 1,164 in 2023 to 1,063 in 2024. This positions the province fourth among 6 provinces reporting murder rate reductions during this period. However, certain areas within Cape Town have seen significant increases. Philippi East recorded 74 murders in the same quarter, a sharp rise from 28 cases in the corresponding period of 2023, making it the second highest nationally. Gang-related violence remains a pressing issue. Of the 221 gang-related murders reported nationally over 3 months, 177 occurred in the Western Cape. This underscores the persistent challenge of gang violence in the region. Despite these challenges, there are positive signs. For the period between July and September 2024, Cape Town's Central Police Station reported a decrease in certain crime categories. While specific figures were not disclosed due to a moratorium on crime statistics, authorities noted reductions in aggravated robbery and theft out of motor vehicles. However, common robbery remains a concern, with fluctuating numbers. The Western Cape government has welcomed President Cyril Ramaphosa's move to reverse the national ban on cannabis and hemp-infused foodstuffs. This comes after Health Minister Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi withdrew controversial regulations under the Foodstuffs, Cosmetics and Disinfectants Act, which had briefly criminalized the sale and distribution of such products. Western Cape officials, who had voiced strong opposition to the initial ban, say the reversal opens the door for proper consultation and a science-based regulatory framework. They believe the cannabis and hemp sector holds massive potential for job creation, economic growth, and improved access to medicinal and wellness products. Provincial Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Ivan Meyer, noted that Ramaphosa's intervention supports a more progressive and inclusive approach. The decision comes after weeks of lobbying by industry groups and civil society organizations who warned that the ban would criminalize thousands of legal businesses. The National Department of Health has since confirmed that new regulations will undergo a public participation process before being reintroduced. As South Africa looks to build a viable local cannabis economy, the Western Cape says it will remain vocal in support of responsible regulation and inclusive growth. Residents are encouraged to participate in the upcoming consultation process to help shape future legislation. 2 women have been arrested in Manenberg following an intelligence-led operation targeting illegal gambling operations in the area. Officers from the city's vice squad raided a premises where they discovered multiple unlicensed gambling machines being used in violation of the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Act. According to law enforcement officials, the suspects were operating a small-scale but lucrative gambling den that catered to local residents. All machines were confiscated as evidence, and both women are expected to appear in court later this week on charges of contravening provincial gaming laws. The City of Cape Town says illegal gambling not only undermines regulatory efforts, but is often linked to broader criminal networks, including loan sharks and extortion rackets. Authorities are continuing their investigations and warn that similar operations are being monitored in surrounding neighborhoods. Community leaders have urged residents to report suspicious activities and avoid participating in illegal gaming venues, which often target vulnerable households. The bust forms part of the city's broader push to dismantle illicit businesses operating within high crime zones and restore safe recreational spaces across Cape Town's communities. For years, the Western Cape has raised concerns about the collapse of key infrastructure, particularly Transnet's freight rail network and port operations at Cape Town Harbour. These inefficiencies have led to delayed shipments, high operational costs, and a negative impact on export-heavy industries such as agriculture and manufacturing. Minister Creasy's statement signals a clear intention to invite private sector partners to help rehabilitate, manage and improve key corridors and terminals. Premier Windy emphasized that this decision aligns perfectly with the province's long-standing call for decentralized control of infrastructure and service delivery. The Western Cape's Department of Mobility and Department of Economic Development have already begun exploring potential models of collaboration. Early talks include engaging with logistics firms, agri-exporters, and major retailers who rely heavily on freight efficiency. Private sector participation could see quicker repairs, better technology implementation, and streamlined port operations. With Cape Town's export potential frequently hindered by congestion and rail bottlenecks, the move is seen as both urgent and transformative. The province is now urging national government to provide clear frameworks and timelines to begin formalizing these partnerships. A dramatic political shakeup unfolded during Thursday's full sitting of the Cape Town City Council, when ANC caucus leader Bonele Majingo unexpectedly announced his resignation from both his leadership role and the African National Congress. In a move that stunned councillors across the floor, Majingo confirmed he would be joining the Democratic Alliance, DA. The announcement led to an immediate suspension of the council meeting, with Speaker Felicity Purchase calling for an adjournment amid rising tensions in the chamber. Majingo's resignation letter was handed over during the session, prompting gasps from both ANC and opposition benches. Majingo cited internal divisions within the ANC and what he described as a consistent failure to prioritize Cape Townians' needs as reasons for his departure. "I can no longer stand behind empty rhetoric while service delivery continues to falter," he said. The DA may not be perfect, but they have a clear vision for governance. The ANC's Western Cape leadership has expressed deep disappointment at the defection, accusing Majingo of betrayal and political opportunism. Majingo is expected to be formally inducted into the DA caucus early next week, and his defection is already sparking speculation about broader shifts ahead of the 2026 local government elections. Earlier this week, Western Cape Minister of Infrastructure, Tertuis Simmers, led a multi-stop ministerial visit across the Garden Route, highlighting the province's push to fast-track service delivery, boost housing opportunities, and support renewable energy development in local communities. In Pakhalsdorp, in George, Minister Simmers officiated a sod-turning ceremony for the construction of 30 new housing units dedicated to military veterans, forming part of the ongoing ERF 325 housing development. This initiative has already seen the successful delivery of over 1,000 homes, including first home finance and breaking new ground units. Later, the minister attended the groundbreaking of Solar Energy Africa's new 9-megawatt solar wheeling plant, which will feature more than 13,000 solar panels. The project not only promises affordable, sustainable energy for the region, but also brings a welcome wave of job opportunities. The ministerial tour continued in Hyderabad, Mossel Bay, where Minister Simmers handed over 30 title deeds to elderly beneficiaries of the Mountain View development. Over 500 additional title deeds are now available for collection in the area, affirming the province's commitment to restoring dignity and ownership rights to long-standing residents. A key milestone of the visit was the launch of a rental housing information office in Hyderabad, designed to educate and protect the rights of both tenants and landlords. The city of Cape Town has unveiled a bold proposal to develop affordable housing on one of the city's most high-value parcels of land, the Green Point Bowling Green complex. Situated just minutes from the city centre and bordering the iconic Green Point Park, the site is being considered for a mixed-use development that includes social housing, retail, and public amenities. The proposal, which forms part of the city's wider land release strategy, aims to unlock well-located public land for inclusive development. City officials argue that creating affordable housing in upmarket urban areas is essential to reversing spatial inequalities inherited from apartheid-era planning. Mayoral Committee member for Human Settlements Carl Popheim said the Greenpoint site is ideally located for integrated living, offering access to jobs, schools, transport, and green spaces. This is not just about building homes, it's about building dignity and access for all income groups, he stated. Public consultation is currently underway, with community members encouraged to submit feedback before the final decision is made. The city has indicated that rezoning and feasibility studies are in progress, and if approved, development could begin in 2026. Cape Town kicks off the new week under mostly sunny skies with a warm, dry day ahead. Temperatures will start at a crisp 14 degrees Celsius in the early morning, rising to a high of around 26 degrees Celsius by mid-afternoon. Winds will be light in the morning, but will pick up speed by midday, especially across the Atlantic seaboard and southern peninsula, where southeasterly gusts could reach 28 kilometers per hour. Expect calm ocean conditions through the early morning with swell heights between 2.2 and 2.5 meters. Low tide will occur around 10:25 a.m., followed by a high tide just after 4:30 p.m., perfect for those planning a morning swim or coastal walk. Sunrise is at 6:46 a.m., with sunset expected around 6:42 p.m. Keep hydrated, use sun protection, and enjoy the last Monday of March with clear skies and steady breeze. With that, we wrap up this week's recap. Thank you for watching Cape Town News. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story. We appreciate your support. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe, informed, and connected.